من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابته المنتجبين. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. The Quran tells us the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. When he was in jail, the king had a dream. The cellmates of Prophet Yusuf, they had discovered that he has the ability to interpret dreams. When they were released, the king had a dream, had a specific dream. One of Prophet Yusuf's cellmates, he told the king that I will be able to interpret your dream. I know someone who can interpret your dream. And indeed, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam was able to interpret that dream. The king released Yusuf alayhi salam. He released him from prison. Prophet Yusuf had a demand, had a request from the king. What was that? What was that request? قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم. Allow me to be your finance minister. Allow me to be in charge of your finance ministry, and you will find me to be someone who is knowledgeable and trustworthy. حفيظ عليم. These are two important qualities that are hard to find in certain individuals. Sometimes you find someone who is knowledgeable but not trustworthy. And sometimes trustworthy but not knowledgeable. To find these two qualities in one individual, this is very rare. And indeed, he became the financial minister to a king that was pagan, that would worship idols. He was not a monotheist. He wouldn't worship God. He was an idol worshiper. Nonetheless, Prophet Yusuf wanted to serve. He wanted to provide his service. He wanted to give back to his community and to his nation. So he requested to be the financial minister. He didn't say this is a pagan king, this is a pagan nation, this is an idol worshipping king and I need to abstain from politics. Rather, he offered to be the minister of finance. The Quran, my friends, encourages us to work for reform. Whenever we have the ability, if we are put in a position where we can make a change, where we can make a difference, we should work for reform. إن أريد إلا الإصلاح ما استطعت. And this is one of the sayings of Musa alayhi salam, that I would like to reform as much as possible. The Quran tells us that those who rise to power and fulfill a political position, if they can, they should establish justice on earth. They should be fair on earth. وَإِذَا حَكَمْتُمْ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ أَن تَحْكُمُوا بِالْعَدْلِ. If you decide on ruling and seeking a political position, at least be fair and just with people. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Now, for the brothers and sisters that have been with us for the past 10 nights, our series has been under the title of Islamic Activism in the West. And we discussed various topics under this theme, Islamic activism in the West. And we saved the most important topic for tonight, and that is political engagement. What does Islam tell us about political engagement? This is a hot topic that many Muslims ask. Should we, as Muslims living in the West, should we engage in politics? Should we vote? Should some of our youth run for office? Should we lobby with certain political groups, political parties, individuals? Should we financially support political campaigns and contribute to political campaigns? This is a question that is posed, and we see that there is a divide. We see there's two opposing views. One view states that we as Muslims living in the West should abstain from politics. We should have nothing to do with politics. We should not vote. We should not run for office. We should not support or endorse any political candidates or any political campaigns. Let's stay away from politics. Why? Because these governments are oppressive governments. They have occupied our countries, and they are supporting tyrannical regimes, or as some like to call it, the B team. The B team. They are supporting Mohammed bin Salman, Mohammed bin Zayed, Bibi Netanyahu. These are oppressive regimes. They support corrupt governments and corrupt regimes across the ocean. Why should we come and support them? Why should we vote? Why should we even engage in politics? At the end of the day, we will be supporting oppression. We will be supporting tyranny. When you give your vote, you're actually supporting these oppressive regimes. So let's abstain from politics completely. At the time of voting, let others vote. We shouldn't vote. None of us should run for political positions, and we should not morally or financially support political campaigns. This is one view. This is one camp. There's a great percentage, a good percentage of the Muslim community and even in the Shia community who have this opinion that political engagement is forbidden. We should abstain from political engagement. This is one view. On the other hand, there's another view that says that we live in this country, those of us that are citizens. If you live in America, you're American. If you live in Canada, you're Canadian. If you live in the UK, you're English. If you live in Australia, you're an Aussie. Wherever you live and you carry a citizenship, you're part of that country. You're part and parcel of that country. Don't you pay taxes? Who doesn't pay taxes? If you are residing in a country legally and you're not in trouble with the authorities and you're making money, that means you're paying taxes. When you pay taxes, isn't that considered supporting an oppressive regime? Whether you like it or not, when you live in a country, when you live in a society and you're paying your taxes, you're engaged in that regime. So by saying, I will not vote, you're not giving your voice, but you're paying your money. You're giving your taxes to these governments that in your eyes are oppressive, that are supporting oppressive regimes and dictatorships and countries. If you're not paying your taxes, you're either breaking the law or you're about to go to jail. Most of us pay taxes. That's support for these governments. How come you don't say, well, I'm not going to pay taxes? You won't vote, but you pay taxes? This is a double standard. You see, my dear friends, you're paying taxes. And these tax dollars are being spent in a specific way. Some of your money is being spent on the military. Some of it is going to the Minister of Education. Some of it is going to the Ministry of Health, and so on and so forth. And some of it is also going to countries like Israel and other countries. You get to decide where your money is being spent. When you vote for a specific politician, for a specific political party, for a specific political entity, you get to decide where your money is being spent. But when you say, I'm not going to vote, I'm going to sit at home and I'll let others vote, others are going to be able to decide how your money is going to be spent. Does that make sense? Does this make sense? Of course it doesn't make sense. Why would you pay tax dollars and then let others make the decisions for you? Of course, these governments might, part of their foreign policy is to support certain countries that some deem as oppressive. Some are indeed oppressive. We have a say in it. By voting, through political engagement, we get to decide. This is a democracy. And in democracy, you have a say, whether you're the majority or the minority. Even the minority, their voices are heard. Thus, our voice has to be heard. We sit and we complain that this country and that country is supporting certain regimes, certain wars, certain oppressive governments, and we don't do anything about it. Well, there's no reason to complain, because you can do something about it. Through political engagement, you have something to say about it. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Look at the logic of the Quran. Look at the logic of the Quran, and you will be able to decide which view is most in accordance to the Quran. You be the judge. The view that says let's abstain from political engagement, or the view that says we should engage in politics in our countries. Look, the Quran says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. You want to sit and complain of Islamophobia, that we Muslims don't have our rights. In certain states, they want to ban the niqab, they want to ban the hijab in public places. You want to sit and complain. Allah says, I gave you the ability to do something about it. You could have improved your situation, but you couldn't. But you didn't. Not that you couldn't. You didn't. So who are you to blame? Why do you put the blame on others? Why do you expect that Allah will perform a miracle for you when you sit lazily and you don't do anything for yourself? إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ. Allah will not change us lest we make change for ourselves. We change ourselves. And then Allah will say, I'll give you a push and I will support you. The Quran says, وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا. Say, act, produce, contribute, make a difference. وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى وَأَنَّ سَعْيَهُ سَوْفَ يُرَى. Each human is judged based on his efforts. The effort that you make to change yourself, to change your family, to change your community, to change your nation, to change your country. It's based on your efforts. A famous hadith by one of the Imams, I believe Imam Al-Kadhim alayhi salam, كَفَّارَةُ عَمَلِ السُّلْطَانِ مُسَاعَدَةُ الْإِخْوَانِ. Islam doesn't say that you cannot engage in politics. Engage in politics. Even if you work for the Sultan. But there's a cost. The cost is that you help your brothers and sisters. You help your community. Imam Al-Kadhim had a companion by the name of Ali ibn Yaqteen. Ali ibn Yaqteen worked for the worst tyrant, for the worst dictator, Harun al-Rashid. He worked for him. Ali ibn Yaqteen was his minister. And several times Ali ibn Yaqteen would ask Imam Al-Kadhim, should I continue working for Harun al-Rashid or should I stop? The Imam would tell him, continue. Work. Work for Harun al-Rashid, but serve your brothers and sisters. Work for the Shia. Work for the Shia community. Work for Harun al-Rashid. But don't oppress anyone, but at the same time, serve the Shia community. This is a lesson that we have to engage in politics. Voting is important, my dear friends. Voting is important. This is a right. Why do you forfeit that right? When you don't vote, when the Muslim community doesn't vote, political candidates are not going to cater for you. They could care less about us and for our rights. Why? Because we didn't vote for them. If we are not a major voting factor, if we Muslims don't have enough votes and we don't contribute to political campaigns, but others do, put yourself in the shoes of a political candidate. Who is he going to care for more? Those who vote for him or those who don't vote for him? It's common sense. It's logical. Those who vote for you, those who vote, you're going to go and cater to them. But if you're a community that doesn't even engage in politics, never votes, never goes out for the ballots, you sit at home, no one's going to cater for you. No one's going to care for you. No one's going to care for your rights. They're going to say, you know, who cares about this community? Because they don't make a difference. They don't contribute to political campaigns. And they don't vote. We need youth to run for office. If we want rights in these countries, in Canada, in America, in the UK, in Europe, in Australia, in New Zealand, we need our youth to run for office, to fight for our rights, to go out and fight for our rights. No one will fight for your rights other than yourself. We shouldn't expect others to come and say, let's fight for the rights of Muslims, these poor Muslims. Let's fight for their rights. No one. No one. We have to fight for our own rights. Contributing to political campaigns. Yes. We have to contribute to political campaigns. There's a political candidate who's successful, who has a chance of winning. Let's help him. Financially, let's help him. Because this individual, once he's elected, he will come and help us. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You support me when I'm running for office, and I'll help you when I'm in office. It's logical. This is how others get their rights. This is how all other lobbies get their rights and get their agendas. They sponsor political campaigns. They pay big money, and they get in return. Once that individual is in office, he will help you. He will fight for your cause. This is something that we can learn from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam Hussein saw a political tyrant. He could have sat back at home in Medina. He could have saved his life and the lives of 72 other men and said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And I don't need to do anything. Imam Hussein could have, but he didn't. He engaged politically and religiously, and he rose and he fought and he made a stand and he spoke out. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't waiting for others to take the initiative to make a change. He took the initiative. He rose his voice. And he stated, ألا وإن الدعي ابن الدعي قد ركز بين اثنتين بين السلة والذلة وهيهات من الذلة. He made a stand. He declared a riot, a revolution against the dictator of his time, the tyrant of his time. Let's learn. And let's judge and see which view is correct. The view that says let's abstain from political engagement, or the view that says we need to be active. We need to make a difference. We need to have our voice heard. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.